Hello, everyone. Um, put these in my earbud case. I hope you're all doing well. Um, Hi, my name's Belinda. I've been living with cerebral palsy for 33 years. This year will be 34. I got diagnosed when I was 8 months old. My mum got told I would never walk. I do walk. I do talk. I do things that everyone else does. I'm surprised a lot of people in my life. I even surprised my own mum. Hello, I saw that you were watching. Um, but my life hasn't been easy, not at all. I all through my life, I have Belinda. There are people worse off than you in this world. I know. I know there are. But when you're a little kid and you have to have physiotherapy, hydrotherapy, speech therapy, physiotherapy done by both professionals and your family, it is not easy. It is a hard thing to actually go through, and people have looked at me my whole life and not felt, oh, that they wanted to get to know me, because even as a little kid, like really little, toilet training age, nobody really liked me for who I was. And now they kind of do, but at the same they kind of don't. So it's sad that um, people still can't accept me for the way I am. But, I can't change who I am. Nor can I change my cerebral palsy now. The only reason I wanted to talk about this is because, hang on a second, I'm messaging my sister. Mm-hmm. She's in New Zealand. So, um, if my own biological father, after I was born, he's like, I can't have disabled kids. Yes, she can. It's something called the cystic fibrosis gene. If both parents, when they conceive, if they have the CF gene, there's a higher chance of a child being born of either cystic fibrosis or cerebral palsy. It runs in my family. There's more than one person with cerebral palsy on my mum's side and on my dad's side. So it's known that it is genetic, even though people are saying no, it's not genetic, it's something else. And it's like, well, from what I see from my families, is that it's got to be a genetic condition. And when people call it a disease, mm-mm. It is not a disease because you cannot catch it. It's not contagious. It's to do with the genes. Okay? So, anybody out there who is saying it's a disease, please stop, because you can't catch it like COVID. And I've dealt with this my whole life. I got bullied about it. Even in high school, even now, people like to put other people in a box. Main example number one, am I overweight? Yes, I am. Am I working on it? Heck yeah, of course. I've got to, because of my cerebral palsy. It affects my back, my hips, my legs, everything. Am I able to walk? I'm at the point where in a year or two I may end up in a wheelchair just for long stretches of time. Why? Because I my balance is really bad. Really, really bad. And it's getting worse as I'm getting older. Now, some say that's to do with the middle ear. No, it's to do with my CP. And I have it all down the left side. I can feel less on the left side than the right. That's how I know. Um, Also, I was told as a kid, um, I was never lied to about my CP. Um, I was always told the truth, um, which was a good thing. Need to know. Um, so I just thought I'd give you some insight. I know people who say no one cares. Well, there are people out there who are being judged and treated with no respect, kindness, or compassion, whether they're wheelchair bound, whether they're able to speak or not. That does not make them a certain name in which you call them. There are very smart people out there like myself with cerebral palsy. There have been two comedians, stand up comedians with cerebral palsy. Okay? That you don't put a disabled person into a box and keep them in that box just to make you feel comfortable. Now, I learned something as a teenager, and that was my certain cerebral palsy is spastic cerebral palsy. Now, of course, all of you would remember spastic as a derogatory term. It's not. Spastic means tight muscles. So, yeah, I do have spastic cerebral palsy. I sometimes get like nerve jumps. Um, my legs sometimes jerk in the middle of the night, um, which is a pain, let me tell you. Um, I've had many a relationship where they've gone, you blooming kicked me last night, and it's like, I was sleeping, I got no idea. But as a collective, and as a person with CP, I want to see change. I want to see people being kind, people being caring, people walking up to us, whether we have speech issues, whether we are in a wheelchair. Like, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there's now technology that people with ALS and CP can use their eyes to communicate with a computer. Okay? Just because the shell is not able to um, move or do what we need to doesn't mean the mind is, excuse the word, stupid. No. Those people are probably frustrated no end because they probably want to do things, they probably want to say things, but they are unable to. Imagine that. Imagine that. Not being able to. Not being able to walk, not being able to use the loo or have a shower on your own. Just a was told should never put her in a home. My mum, my grandma, and I'm very grateful. And test in August, CB2. Memory kind of stops for a second. Don't ask. Very clumsy, right? So, because I also do not have good mild CB, if you have a bar in your I forgot, ended up in hospital with a neck brace. I was there, bang, and yes, the trauma. Now, when you're diagnosed, whether it be ADD, ALS, whether it be someone with seizures, if you have a condition for the minute, they probably do. Get the world is to stop putting them in a box and ignoring them because they see them as difficult, smart enough quickly. But I won't go into that because it's bullying. Passing, I get up every day, make myself a cup of coffee, watch a bit of television, or I come on here on TikTok or whatever. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Not many people will get it, mostly because they see the problem, not the person. I'm a human being like anyone else on the planet. All I want is to be accepted and treated with respect. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I do my best to treat people with respect, kindness, and gratitude. Why? It's the way I was raised. Why would you not want to treat people that way? Am I looking for attention? No, I'm trying to raise awareness that people in Australia, not WA, because I grew up in WA, and WA, they embraced the people with cerebral palsy, which was nice, except the whole bullying part in school, that never stopped. Left. Um, we should be celebrated because it's lucky that we're even here in the first place. You know, there should be not groups. What am I thinking of? Support people who, like, the state I live in now is South Australia, and they're only just doing studies now on how cerebral palsy affects a person. It doesn't just affect the person, it affects the parents. That's what they're not taking that into any type of consideration. They need to take that into consideration. The parents are doing it worse off than the child with the issue. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have CP, not at all, but it's painful, especially in winter when my leg gets really stiff and sore. So now I've got a foot spa. I have a vibrating platform to help circulation, because circulation is part of CP, ball circulation. Because of my CP, obviously had to have COVID shots, right? After the third injection, I ended up with the blood clot from the top of my hip, rushed in the surgery, and they found another problem. A nerve was being pinched, and if it in right away, I could have ended up with a stroke or a heart. So it's because of the condition called I'm on blood thinners for the rest of my life of having thrombosis. Um, I can't risk ending up with I can't come off it unless I hospital a few days. And if I start the consultation of the surgery, I ability I'm gonna die on the table. And as for some doing a C-section cut, I said I'll take my chances. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Really? And I'm like, yeah. Now, I don't, and I cannot be on any contraceptive, so I have to have. That's why I need the surgery because I can't have any with more blood clot. So I'll have the surgery. Hope I pull through because I almost died last. The blood clot. They had me in a coma for 3 days. He was made my next of kin because all my family were in bed. So he came in, he brushed my hair, sleep, but apparently I woke up. I went for the tube and they sedated me right away. But here's the thing I said to him when they finally woke me and took the breathing tube out, I said I woke up 3 times and 3 times I got put back to sleep. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I tried to move the small tube because I had a lump on my tongue. It must have rubbed on my tongue and caused some sort of thing. And he goes, well, you did once in front of me, and they quickly went and got anesthetic to put you back under because you were not fit enough to come out of it. I said, oh, okay. So they had me out of it for 3 whole days. Then I hear someone saying my name, then a female saying my name, and then I somehow opened my eyes. But I was still so sleepy. And it's like time had stopped. It didn't feel real at all. At all. I was this close to death. And what was it? The next day, I didn't sleep for 24 hours after a 3-day coma. So it was like, I really need to rest. I need to. So my best mate, he brought me my eye cover and my earplugs so that I couldn't hear any beeps or anything. Um, so when I did finally fall asleep, it was fantastic. I found it hard because the hospital beds were not the best. But I remember going from a public hospital room to a private hospital room because the public one was full. So I had to go into a private room. And I was very grateful and thankful. Had my own bathroom, had my own room. I had a window, a view of outside. It took me 3 weeks to walk, 3 to 4, because they had to go up into veins to get the clot out and stuff, and it really messes with your leg. Like, I felt like house. You know that guy from House, he popped his Vicodin because of his leg pain? Well, I felt like that. And I was like, I'm sick of taking pain pills. Like, I just want to go to the loo like I should be able to. They're like, yeah, but you're not ready yet. And I'm like, just help me. So one nurse helped me. It was painful, but I finally did go to the loo. And I was happy about that. And then they said, over the next few days, we'll help you with showering and things like that. And one day, I just lost it. And I pressed the bell, and one of the nicest nurses I have ever had in my lifetime in a hospital. She was amazing. She goes, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go heat up a shampoo and conditioning cap for you. I'm going to go do that now. I'll be right back. She came back. She massaged it into my head and she goes, how does that feel? And I'm like, I feel like I'm in a salon. And she goes, well, that's good. That's good. And she helped me wash it out. And she goes, how do you feel? I said, a little bit better. And she goes, that's good. It must be hard. I said, it is. It is hard. But the day I got out of hospital, I was happy. Um, yeah, and then saw people I wanted to see. And it's made me think a lot about what I want in life and who I need in it. The people I love the most are in WA. And there aren't that many people here in SA who care about me. Yeah, there's my partner, my best mate, all my friends in general here. But I'd never move back to Perth. It would only ever be visiting situation. But yeah, it's been a long 2 years. In 2021, it was my second surgery here in Adelaide. Had my gallbladder out. And then they gave me an off sandwich and I ended up with E. coli. Not my fault, their fault. They made me eat before I left. So after that, like I said, I had another operation to get the clot out. Yeah, I hope to never go through that again, like I said. Next operation will be fallopian tubes out. After that, hopefully nothing. Just continue. Is your stint where it should be? Let's have a look. Make sure there's no blood clot. Yeah, of course. So I think next time I go over to Perth will be in a cabin so that I can I can not end up with the blood clot in the air. See, living with CP, like I said, is not easy. And you have to tell people time and time and time again. And it's annoying. Really annoying. I think there should be a medical alert bracelet that says cerebral palsy, and underneath, see the person, not the problem. That's the way it should be. See the person, not the problem. But I know human beings are complicated creatures, and that is why some people are judgmental. Sometimes they can't help it. Sometimes that's just how they are. But for me, I try not to judge. Main word, try. But, I'm only human. Um, yeah, so. Alright, well, I'll get going. I don't know whether to take this down or keep it up. I'll probably talk more tomorrow. And if I do, hopefully there will be some people on here watching my stream. If not, that's fair enough. Well, thank you anyway to the one person who came in for a moment. Very much appreciated. And I hope everyone has a good day, afternoon, evening, and night time, wherever they are in the world. Bye, everyone.